Hello and welcome back to the Crafty Little Gem, and we are on with our boxes. I have just realised that I've got quite a few to make, so this one is not going to be properly finished this time, but I will be showing my ladies how we put the boxes and cut the boxes and score the boxes in class. So I'll get as far as I can with doing, we'll make 2 of the boxes up and I'll show you how we're going to cut the paper and put those on top. And I have actually found these that were Stampin' Up, and they were in one of the little packs that I have, so this is definitely going to be used for these, for the advent numbers. So what we are going to do is we are going to get on and we are going to be preparing one of these. So I do need, first of all, my trimmer. You can get 2 boxes out of 1 sheet. We are going to, yes we are. We're going to put our arm out on our trimmer, and we need to cut 24 of these, and we need them to be 5 1/4 by 6 1/8. So we're on the shorter side. We are going to move to the 6 1/8 and we are going to cut. We're going to save all of our trimmed off bitses, and we are going to move to the longer side. So this is 11 3/4, but we are going to cut this one to 5 1/4. We're going to move it along and we're going to cut another one at 5 1/4, and we are going to take those away. So we have 2 out of 1 sheet of A4. We've got a little bit of scoring to do now. So on the 5 1/4 side, we are going to score at 3/4, which is just there. Checking that that is right. Yep, 3/4. 1 3/4. 3 1/2. And 4 1/2. So we should have even both sides. We're going to turn it onto the 6 1/8 and we are going to score it at 1 inch. 2 3/4. 3 3/4. And 5 1/2. And I'll go through that again with you. So on the 5 1/4 side, we are scoring at 3/4 of an inch, 1 3/4 of an inch, 3 1/2, and 4 1/2. We're going to turn to the 6 1/8 side. So that is the side that is going to be sitting along the straight bit at the top, and we're going to score at 1, 2 3/4, 3 3/4, and 5 1/2. And I'll pop the template back up just so you can see what we're aiming for. So we have our little tab here at the top. So if we go ahead first of all and fold and burnish all of our score lines. Like so. I will do the other one with you as well. So our tab bit becomes the lip at the front. I'm going to then grab my snips, and this is how we're going to cut it. So ignore this bit for now and ignore the corner rounding ends. We want our card to be on the longer side, and we are going to cut up each of these score lines like so. And when you get to this longer bit here with the tab, you can then turn, grab a longer pair of scissors, and we are just going to remove all of that section there. I then come in and fold that bit over and trim off them 2 where the score line is, and either side of that one. Okay, we're going to turn, and we're going to repeat it on this side. So up this score line, and the next one just up to the second score line, up to this next one here. This is your bigger section with your tiny tab bit. So we're actually going to remove as straight as we can all of that section there. I'm going to fold that middle bit in because we want to keep that bit, and I'm just trimming off both of them ends and then creating a tab on either end of there. So we have this. Let's just get all of that moved out of the way. So on this one we have just trimmed very slightly because you are going to see these. They just want to be able to tuck in. So I'm just cutting off an eighth of an inch. I'm just checking on, yeah, I did it on all of them. On there, we're going to corner around this top tab like so. And then we are going to put a finger notch in the middle of the bottom piece. So we have those. We will go ahead and we will do exactly the same to the second one that we have cut. And we're going to have it on the side again. I'll bring the red one in so we can see. We have our tab this end, that's the smaller piece. We are going to cut up the score lines on this side, leaving the tab, turn it and cut this longer section away. Fold the middle section in and remove both of those, and then trim to create tabs out of each one of them side sections. You can also, while it's on this side, do your tiny little wedge in. We're going to turn and we're going to do exactly the same. So we're going to cut up these score lines, leaving the tab one. Bring in your larger scissors and cut right down to there. Fold your tab in, cut them off, cut those into tabs by removing a slight wedge, bringing that one down, and then an even smaller wedge just on them ones. Then we are coming in with our punch again. So we have got our corner rounder and we have our notch side. If you don't have one of these, you can easily use a little circle punch or anything that you've got to hand that will just make a little finger notch in there. So what we are going to do now is we are going to bring these sides up. So I'm just doing one at a time, bringing that side up, making sure we are square. I'm going to do the other side again, making sure our lines are straight. And I'm just going to bring both of those tabs in. So they're straight on the top there and on the bottom there. So when you actually fold your tabs in, you can get the little tab at the front, and it all fits in together nicely. So I'll repeat that on this one. I'm starting on the tabs at the back first, one at a time, bringing it up. A little bit on the back there, bringing that one up. On the outside again, bringing both tabs in and folding it up, and making sure that they are nice and straight. So when it comes folding them tabs in, you can then easily just fold that down and it stays. Okay, so that's 2 done. I'll just pop that one back that I undid. And these have been sat around for a while, so it's not too bad. You might not be able to see it, but we have our score lines. Put those there. We have all of our little score lines with the 1/4 of an inch in between all of them. I'm going to start, and I'm just going to get one, and I'm going to put glue on the base, making sure the tab bit is the one coming forward, and I'll bring this up, and I can see just a cross section there, and that is where my first square is going to go, making sure I have got that up to that line. So we have our 1/4 of an inch all the way around the outside. So then with that being there, I then do work down, because then we've got a lot more room working that way. Again, so I have a 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to pop the box in the next square down. And once these are all on, you're not going to see them anyway. Again, I'm going to leave that 1/4 of an inch score line. I can see the bottom of where I need to be here, so I'm going to pop that down, making sure that one is square. Okay, the next one, so this is the bottom. I've got my 1/4 of an inch at the bottom, so I'm aiming for that one to be right in there. And then we're going to start back at the top again. And because we've already got that one down, you kind of like can easily then do the next lot. Got a bit on the front there because I'm rushing and I don't need to. Just move that into that square where it should be. And I am going one way, and I'm making sure I'm going right up to that edge on the other way as well. And for this whole project, you will need about 15 pieces of cardstock, 12 A4, and you will need 2 pieces of your DSP. So that is another line in. We're then going to do this line. And this one, you're aiming to more of this side, because when you pick that side up, you don't want it to interfere there. So dead on that score line. If you lift that up, it'll move it across itself anyway. But also you shouldn't really see a lot of the DSP. Oop. So again, I'm coming in with this one. It's going to go straight underneath. go, that's the cross there that I need. Pull that up again on that line, because when they come together like that, they'll be absolutely fine. One more at the bottom, and you can keep checking as you go along. But again, I've got my little cross section there. When I bring that up to the side, none of those are moving. Again, we're going to start at the top. And I have my cross at the bottom here because we are going quite close to this side. So I have a 1/4 of an inch there going right round that box. That's going to go there. Again, these are the ones that you want to be getting right first time. That one can move up slightly, I do believe. There we go. And you have got enough room. That's why you've got your little notch in, because you have got enough room to get your thumb in and to be able to open it up. Okay, so again, we have our intersection right down here. There we go. And there. And our last one for this bottom here. And again, you can bring then bring both the sides up, and you can see you've got a gap in the middle there as well. So that's those in. We can then start doing our other ones, and then you will obviously finish off your boxes and repeat what we have been doing. So this is your guide for your next one. You're just going to get it right on here. There we go. That's our other one. Got one more to pop in. And again, you're in line with this one, then you're also in line with that one there. And because you have done your score lines, you can get really close in to see them. There we go. So that's where I'm going to leave my boxes for today. And we're going to pop that at the back there. And I'm going to bring in my patterned paper that we had for... oh, I need my trimmer, not my scoreboard. So with this one, it's up to you. I'm going to use the paper that I had cut off because we're going to have the same for the front as well. And remember, you have got both sides. So what we need to do is we need to cut this one at 1 5/8. So you're going to get 2 strips out of it. I do believe it is 1 5/8. It is 1 5/8 by 1 5/8. So that is our first strip. And another 1 5/8. And this is what we have left. And you could obviously turn it over, use the pattern on the back for your stripes, for your bookmark bits. We're then going to turn it to the 12-inch side. Oh, we're not scoring. And we're going to start cutting some 1 5/8 by 1 5/8 squares. So, out of each piece, 1 5/8. Let me just do this last one. So we have a tiny bit at the end there. You're going to get 7 out of each piece, and you have got two, you'll have two of each. So after I've done this, I can lay them and see where I want them to be, or how I want them to be. I'll give you a couple of different options, and then we can start adhering them down. And I can just hear the cat has crept into my craft room to join me today. So we're going to pop that away. These are our toppers. Remember, we haven't done the front and the back yet. These are going to go on top again with a slight border. You can turn them around. So what I normally do is you're going to have 4 different ones of each one. However, I've got a bear there. This is what I do. I start playing. I don't want 2 bears. So if I've got 2 bears on that side, I then have the 1 bear in the middle after I've done my boxes for here. Oh, we've got a snowman. You then just start deciding oh, here's another good little snowman there, look. So I'll turn that one over so you can see it against there. I would have 1 in the middle. I'm going to have 1 there, and then I will have 1 there, and you'll have exactly the same again. So it'll be exactly the same sequence. You'll have 2 on this side and 1 on this side, so the opposite way around. And you'll have 2 left from each piece. You'll have 1 left from each piece, so you'll have 4 of these left from when you do the front as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on and I'm going to glue all of these down, and then I will see you for the next bit where we're going to decorate up the front and the back and add the ribbon, and we'll obviously also cut the rest for the boxes what we have here. Thanks ever so much for everybody for watching. We are 3/4 of the way through, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye for now.